Hello, and I'm going to be showing how to do some implementations and changes to the flexible combat system that I have added into my game. Hopefully maybe you can use them in yours, but I found them not as easy to figure out as what they should be. So the first thing I'll be going over is dropping the enemy equipped weapon on death, on a varied chance that we can play around with and set so we don't get too many dropped. But I'll show you how it works. Alright, and this one is not able to be picked up. This one is able to be picked up. This one no, and this one yes. So 2 out of 4. Like I said, we can vary this around. I'll show you how we can do that here in just a second here. Okay, so in a fresh project, I've got just an open landscape. What we'll do is go to our AI and we'll drag out a couple of these guys here, and we'll change one so that they're not the exact same. We'll go with a dual-willed feller there. So the first thing you want to do is go to your blueprints, go to your items. You want to go to your BP pickup item, and in the top over here type in CC, go to item static, use CCD for collision detection. If you have followed the guide for dropping items as actual meshes and with simulate physics so that they just fall to the ground, you will need this also. Also in the weapon parent, which is where we'll be doing most of our work, you're going to want to do the same thing with it as well. So you just go to static CCD, make sure it is. It should be on by default, but just to make sure. And it is. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is find where the player dies, which is right here. And we don't need this section here, so we can break this link and break this link, and you can either delete it or you can keep it if you wanted to revert back without saving. I'm going to delete it out of here. So the first thing that we need to do is create a couple variables. So we're going to do drop chance, and you want to make this a float, and I like to expose it just so that we can, and I also like to expose on spawn. So we're going to drop this out here, and we're going to get it, and random float in range between 0 and 1. We're going to add a branch check in here, and we're going to do a greater than or equal to our drop chance. So what we're doing here is we have a random float between 0 and 1. Think of it between 0 and 100, but we're going to do it in tenths. So 0.1 is 10%, 0.2 is 20%, and so on and so forth. So for initial testing, make sure you compile. For initial testing, we're going to set it at 1 just to make sure that it does drop a weapon. We'll go here and we'll spawn actor from class, if that is true. And what we are going to spawn is the BP weapon parent. It's the one that we are in. So when the enemy dies, it's going to check this, If it's true, it's going to spawn a reference to itself. We're going to get data set up. There's already a variable in here. We're going to plug that in to here. Also take your drop chance and you can plug it into this if you would like. This is not necessary. The only way that this would really be necessary is if you wanted to expand this into like a skill system, then you would need to create a function that stores that reference, and then you would plug that reference into here. I may add that in while we're doing this, we will see. So the next thing we need to do is we need to move this back a little bit. We need a little bit more room. Then we are going to get actor transform. This is going to be where the actor itself is when it detaches from the enemy. You make sure that we have that reference or you'll get an error, compile error. I can show you what happens if we don't have it. Compile and spawn transform pin is invalid. So if you don't have that, that will cause that error and your blueprint will not compile. So the next thing that we need to do is I'm going to move this up out of the way, and I am going to copy this section here and drop it right down below. Move this up. Move this up. We do not need the delay because that's going to be an instantaneous thing. So by default, you have a weapon despawn timer of 20 seconds when it dies, and then it destroys itself. We're not going to do that because we're going to swap it out here, which takes care of it right here. So from this, we don't need this variable, and we're going to do a select node, drag that here, and we're going to go here and get skeletal mesh, get skeletal mesh. This is our boolean to the select node. So if it is a skeletal mesh, it's going to go through this true pin. If not, it'll go through the false pin. So we're going to get item skeletal and item static. And like I said, if it is a skeletal mesh item, we want it to spawn the skeletal mesh. If not, we want it to spawn the static mesh of it. Drag this over, plug it in here. Again, we don't need the pass weapon data. Get this, plug it in here, drag this down, and that should work. So we can go and test. What I like to do for testing is set the AI level to pretty much nothing. So go to your stats and I drop it to 0. Also, we need to do the dual wield guy because we've got that one out there. This is just so you're not sitting here testing, trying to kill them forever. Next thing we need is we'll need an item or a weapon for the player. So we will open that up and come down here to our where is it at? There it is, inventory component. Scroll down to your starting items in setup. This is how you can set starting items for your player when they first start the game. And we'll just go with a sword. By default, if it's the only weapon, it should start with it equipped. And we're lagging out for some reason. Okay, there we go. Oh, we are glitching out a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit better. So if we come up here and I must have set the wrong variable on that guy. Oh, that's why. Wrong one. Alright, we'll try this again. Come over here, and if we slice him up, he just died. But it did not detach. Okay, we'll have to figure that out. And it did not detach from that either. Okay, so we got something not right. Give me just a second. Let me figure out. Is it because I needed this in? Or was it because I have this here? Or do I have this backwards? I get these confused sometimes. Again, I apologize. I'll try it this way. There we go. So now it detached, and we can pick it up. We come over here, and let's kill that guy, and we should be able to pick up his daggers. And since his bow was not equipped, we cannot pick up the bow. So, you will get an error. We will go back and fix that in a second. So, I had it backwards. Again, I apologize, but you can also set this up to be a 0.5, and I think that might be where the problem was. Is if we change this to 0.5, just another test really quick. It's always good to do multiple tests to get a feel for everything. It dropped. It did not spawn. This guy is shooting. And it did not drop those either. So let's do a little bit more of a test. Let's move this guy over out of here the way. Let's copy this one since he's just a sword combatant. And let's try it with 4. And so we can pick that one up. We can pick this one up. We can pick that one up. Oops. That archer is going to make me angry. I should have just got him out of here. And this one we can't. So right now, every 3 or so we can pick up. Like I said, this little variable we can play around with. We can try 0.3. And this is all a preference to the game that you're making and if this is a fit for you. Pick that one up, can't pick that one up, can't pick that one up, and I can pick that one up. So 0.3 maybe is a sweet spot. Again, that is all going to be on how you would like to set up your game in particular. You can add a lot more logic into this. Like I said, we can make a function for this that sets this drop chance. We can do that really quick just to show you. And how did I do that before? We get the drop chance. You know, I'll save this one for a different video just because it is a little bit more in depth on doing that, and I don't remember the exact input logic for it off the top of my head. So there is that. I'm going to be doing another one for the same thing with arrows. When you shoot them, you have a chance to pick them up after they're shot. And you can also spawn a broken resource from it if you would like, for like arrows, to build them for crafting. And then we'll go into some UI changes, and then if everybody is interested, I will do a gameplay tag integration. Thanks for watching, and hope that you